Hello everybody, we're going to take a look at a very powerful area of Logbook Pro you may not be aware of. I'm sure a lot of you just spend your time in the logbook area or maybe generating a report from time to time. But what happens when it's time to take a look at the analytics? How many hours have you flown? Do you need to know how many hours you flew in a particular aircraft type, or even down to the specific tail number? One very powerful area of Logbook Pro that I highly recommend you all take a look at, just tinker around with, is called the Analyzer. You can access it either by clicking View, Analyzer, you can press F11, or you can click this button just to the right of the Logbook button on the toolbar. So let's take a look at the Analyzer, and I'm going to show you some of the advanced features, particularly for airline pilots that are filling out applications and needing to get some complex time data. We're going to run the Analyzer, and we're presented with the date filters. Most of the time when you're running a report, a chart, or the Analyzer, unless you're trying to filter down between two dates, such as this month, last month, which you can also use this little drop down quick picker, you want to choose the All Data button in the bottom left. And this is going to give us a presentation of all of your aircraft types on the left. So you can scroll down, you can see all the aircraft types, and then you can see your time breakdowns in this yellow or highlighted area. So you can see C-172, there are 665 flights. And I'll just make a note that the legs column in Logbook Pro is essentially your number of flights. In Logbook Pro, with our free-form route of flight entry input system, you can actually log an entire day in a one-line entry. So you need to make sure you put in the number of legs, which will correspond to the number of flights. But you can see you can just go across each column here. Now this is called a pivot table, in that these blue items can actually be dragged and dropped to different locations, and we'll look at that here in just a minute. And this is going to be a very quick overview. I just want to get you into the Analyzer, tinker around with it, and you can take it from here. You can, anywhere you see this plus sign means you can expand it, and you can actually see just some dummy N numbers from test data here, where you can actually expand the type and look at your time, number of flights, hours, etc. And you can scroll for even more data from the approaches you've flown in this particular type, etc. So you can look at it down to the N number. So just clicking the plus sign gives you the information where you can get details. Now you can switch from your time summary to an actual percentage of your total time. So just by clicking the % button, you can see that in this particular N number, it's 0.02%, but if we collapse it, we can see that C-182 is 1.1% of our total flights, or 0.71% of our total hours. So you can look at percentages versus number values just by clicking these two buttons on the toolbar for totals or summary data versus percents. Now, if you want to filter information, maybe you want to see information that a particular class, maybe you want to look at your multi-engine time. So you can turn off your glider, turn off gyroplane, helicopter, turn off everything except for your multi-engine helo and land. Maybe you just want to see multi-engine land. Once you collapse this drop down, it's going to instantly filter your data to multi-engine land. Now this is information as set in the options aircraft area. Each aircraft type has a configuration such as airplane single engine land, multi-engine land, etc. So let's go ahead and turn all this other information back on, and you can see how you can quickly filter data. So you can go across each of these items in the top, any of these blue items with the drop down, and you can turn off sections to get maybe you just want your turbojet time. So again, just clear the X's, deselect the items you don't want to have viewed, and here is our data filtered instantly to show only turbojet. Now, like I said, we can filter, but we can also drag and drop because this is a pivot table. So I'm going to drop the year. I want my time breakdowns by year. So let's scroll and let's see what year this data is for. This is 1976. So let's go all the way to the right and we can look at breakdowns by year. Okay, and we can also turn off years if you want to minimize the data. Maybe you only want to see the last 5 years. Just turn off your prior years and you can get a quick look back of so that the total is in the far right. And then here's our 2011 data. And again, you can get breakdowns for those individual years by N number, by type, etc. Again, this is a pivot table, meaning you can pivot these fields to different areas to get different breakdowns. All right, so let's see here. Let's take a look at one other thing, which is called the master filter. I'm going to run this again just to reset our layout for the next demo. Okay. Now, if you can see up here on the toolbar, we have something called a master filter. What this is going to allow us to do is filter the flight records from our flight log where the selected field has a value logged in it. So if I set a master filter of pilot and command, we are going to tell the analyzer to instantly filter my flight log to only look at records in my flight log where pilot and command is greater than 0. All right, the filter is complete. So now, if I want to look at night pilot and command, or pilot and command, cross country, etc., all I have to do is look at this night column. So my total night pilot and command is 409.1. Let's turn off the master filter, select all data, and my total night is 430.2 in this example. All right, so if you want to look at instrument cross country, set a master filter of cross country. This is going to tell the analyzer to only look at records in my flight log where cross country is greater than 0. In other words, I have a value for cross country. So now that I've done that, I can look at my instrument time logged where I also logged cross country. I have 105.0 cross country instrument hours. I have 240 cross country night hours. All right, so hopefully you can see that this master filter, and again, I just want you to, whenever you set this master filter, just tell yourself, I am filtering my flight log to only show values where the selected item has a log entry greater than 0. So when I look at my instructor, if I set a master filter of instructor, I am telling it to only look at the rows in my flight log where instructor has been logged, in other words, greater than 0. So now I can look at my instructor night time, my instructor instrument time. And again, you always get the breakdowns by aircraft, expand by N number, go to the bottom for totals, or click the percentage for percents. Now there's a lot more functionality in the analyzer. One other one is called the adjusted totals, or presets for airline pilots. You can see on the far right is an adjusted hours. Now here's a toolbar that has popped up that is a preset, again just dummy data. But say you're going to go fly for Acme Airlines, or you're going to apply to Acme Airlines, and Acme Airlines is saying that you can compensate your military flying by 0.3 per flight. So all you have to do is create a preset. So let's look at our NC Airlines preset. Pick out the aircraft types that apply. So what are your military types in this example? And then set the offset 0.3. And then when you go to the right, you'll see the adjusted hours. So if it was 0.0, it would be 15.5. But if it was 0.3, well, let's go ahead and set, let's just do an example for you. 7, let's do a 0.3. All right, so look at, it's 15.5 right now with the 0 offset. Now let's look at it with the 0.3 offset. You can see that the hours increase 0.3 per flight So that can come in handy for those doing any type of compensation for the type of flying you're doing that the particular airline. So again, not to get too long with this video presentation, I just want you to be aware of the analyzer. That is a gold mine of data in Logbook Pro. Let me turn off the presets. And you can pivot data, you can filter data by any of these items across the top. You can drag, if you want to look at by quarter, by month, turn off years. You can come in here and really manipulate this information as much as you need to present the data that you're looking for, by year, by quarter, etc. You can turn off the aircraft. Again, wherever you see a drop down means it is a filter. So again, take a little bit of time and take a look at some powerful tools within Logbook Pro. One of the most powerful is the analyzer. Again, just click View Analyzer or press F11 or press the button just to the right of the Logbook button on the toolbar to launch the analyzer, and hopefully that'll help you out with any type of insurance forms, applications, etc. you're filling out. Have a good day.